Welcome to another half hour of our Talk to the Experts on News Talk Radio. Your host, Brent Laux, joined by a gaggle of friends from Trusted Saskatoon. We've got Trustedsaskatoon.com owner Sarah Wheelwright joining us, along with three people who are very much involved with Trustedsaskatoon.com, as you will find their businesses on the Trustedsaskatoon.com website. Hi again, Sarah.
Hello, hello.
How was Home Styles? I know you were busy there last weekend.
It was hectic. The weather didn't seem to put people off coming down, and we gave away lots of prizes and met the public and had a really great response. It was a lot of fun.
Now, Trusted Saskatoon's been around for a few years now, but you continue to get the message out. For those that aren't familiar with Trusted Saskatoon, your 30-second elevator speech. What is Trustedsaskatoon.com?
It is the local directory of locally trusted businesses. All the businesses on here are locally accountable. We have some real estate experts in the studio today. We have Carrie Calder, Century 21 top producer and trusted realtor. We have Brett from Ray's Moving. And believe me, I don't know about you, but I've had horrible moving experiences in the past, so it's nice to have a trusted mover. Who doesn't? And then we have Rhonda from Decorah Homes, a very well distinguished home builder in the city. That's have you got any more room for those awards on your shelf, Rhonda? I don't know. And all of them come together to answer the questions of the Facebook fans at Trusted Saskatoon, and they all bring prizes, so we love them.
And somebody's going to win it. Our prize pack here today, as you mentioned, the three different companies represented here have each brought along a gift, and one lucky person who's asked a question on the Trustedsaskatoon.com Facebook page. That's how you get into this. Submit your questions on the Facebook page, and we could be asking your question on the air someday, and you might even win our prize pack. So without any further ado, let's move on to our very first guest here today, Carrie Calder, Century 21 Fusion Realty here in Saskatoon. Hi, Carrie.
Hello.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
We've got a big list of questions. Real estate's a popular item on the minds of a lot of people these days.
It is.
Ready to go?
Sure.
Adele has asked question number one. She says, my house has been on the market for about 6 weeks now. I'm getting good traffic through, but no one's writing up an offer. I've been told a lot of it has to do with the weather. Are there any months that are sellers' months as opposed to buyers' months? Any particular advice you can give her in that area?
Well, honestly, Adele, every house sells. It all comes down to the price. So that might be what needs to be addressed here. Because if you're getting a lot of traffic through, it doesn't matter if it's cold, if it was slower in January or February, it's likely due to the price. So nothing to do with the weather. If you're getting the traffic, you need to look at price.
I think you're too humble. Isn't it the real estate agent that gets the sale?
Of course,
probably needs you.
Yeah.
Call now to Carrie Calder, Century 21 Fusion. Rachel says, my fiance and I are considering buying a house. First-time home buyers. We got the down payment saved up. We're not sure what would be best. We're stuck choosing between buying brand new or something 5 to 10 years of age. We like the idea of having a brand new house. Most of them come with that new home warranty, but most of the new houses have not leveled out and may have problems that won't be known about until they've already happened or it's too late. Then she goes on to look at some of the other issues with an older home. This will drive this poor woman crazy, I think, if she keeps going this way. What can you offer for advice to Rachel?
Well, she really needs to be working with an experienced Saskatoon real estate agent who can help her determine what best suits her needs and wants. New can be great, but it's also a lot of work. And a lot of first-time home buyers especially don't realize how much work and cash there is that needs to go into a brand new house. Older houses can also mean work, because if you need to update it, you're going to have to spend some money, but at least you're in an established neighborhood that has settled, if that is something that you're concerned about. But as far as a new house goes, you have to think about things such as window coverings, air conditioning. You have to look at appliances. Does it need a fence? Does it need a deck? Landscaping, driveway, basement development. All of those things can add up very quickly. So it's going to be coming down to what their preference is and how much cash they have available.
Carrie Calder, Century 21 Fusion, one of our guests on this weekend's half hour of our Trustedsaskatoon.com expert show. Next question submitted to the Trusted Saskatoon Facebook page comes from Sabina, who says, how much percentage-wise is expected for a down payment on a home these days?
If you're a first-time home buyer or buying as your primary residence, 5% is typically what you need. But there are circumstances where you can actually borrow your down payment depending on how good your credit is. So you need to talk to your mortgage broker about that. If you're investing, though, you do need a 20% down payment. You can check my website, www.saskatoonrealestate.net, for more information on mortgages and what's required and what all the terms mean. I have everything there for you.
Good time to be buying. Oh, boy, mortgage rates staying nice and low these days, huh?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Ernest has submitted a question to Carrie Calder from Century 21 Fusion through the Trustedsaskatoon.com Facebook page. Says he's been living here for about 5 years now, considering to purchase some kind of real estate. He is asking, would you purchase a house, he recommends, or would you recommend, or a condo, a townhouse, or should he look at a rent-to-own property? And he says he's a low-income earner. What's his best option for him to get one? And what about taxes and legal fees? There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot of questions there. So I'm going to actually direct him to my website as well, the www.saskatoonrealestate.net, because on there I've got information about what the differences are in the types of ownership, because condos, townhouses, people don't necessarily know the difference between apartment-style condos, townhouses, and then single-family dwellings.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got all the information on there, as well as the information about the closing costs. So he can check everything out on my website. As far as rent-to-owns go, from what I've been told, as well as consulting with my lawyer on that one, that can be a bit of a dangerous situation for people with their finances, and people may end up losing a lot of money.
Bit of a trap
so
there sometimes.
It is a bit of a trap,
Yeah.
and you know what? It's not beneficial most of the time to either the buyer or the seller. So if you're a low-income earner, there are some programs out there, and I believe you can find some of those on the City of Saskatoon's website. So I would just consult with them.
Okay, another question here from Lisa. Good question. Whether you're buying or selling a home or maybe just considering a renovation, what's the number one seller? Bathrooms or kitchens? And if you had to choose to put money into one, which one would you upgrade?
In my experience, I would definitely say the kitchen is number one, but unfortunately it's also the priciest one. But there are some good companies out there that can help with remodels, and you don't have to spend a fortune on that.
Okay, and here's the killer question of the day for you here. Carrie Calder, Century 21 Fusion. Amanda Upton asks you to look into your crystal ball and says, will house prices be going down in Saskatoon? And I know what she's talking about. Extremely hard for young couples, individuals to afford first homes with current house prices.
Yes, and I totally understand how hard it is for for all first-time buyers, but unfortunately all of the economic indicators show that the house prices will continue to rise, so the longer you rent, the pricier it's going to be. I'm not going to say that the prices are going to double again. We've had our doubling, but we will be seeing a more modest increase, and that's what all the indicators show. You can also check out my website again for valuable information for first-time home buyers and what some of the programs are out there for you, and then let me connect you with a good mortgage broker. Then you can speak to them and put together a plan. Yeah,
anybody that's waiting for house prices to come down. I was talking to a TD Bank economist just the other day, and they're predicting about a 2% increase over the next 10 years each year. But then he went on to say, but in Saskatoon, you guys are doing a little bit better, so he thinks prices here are going to continue going up by at least 2% a year for the foreseeable future. Thanks for your time, Carrie. Carrie Calder, Century 21 Fusion, one of our guests with Trusted Saskatoon, and you can find all of the information that Carrie was talking about at her website, which you connect through when you go to Trustedsaskatoon.com. Thanks, Carrie.
Exactly. Thank you.
And we're going to get a quick minute here with Brett from Ray's Moving, who's joined us as well, one of our guests this weekend. Hi, Brett.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to have you here. We were all talking before the show. Who amongst us hasn't had a nightmare experience when it comes to moving? But when I look at a company like Ray's Moving, there's a company that's been around the city for a good long time.
We've been around for 38 years now.
Good for you.
I'm actually third generation involved with it. So we've got a long family history.
Good stuff. I remember hiring movers years ago to move from one house to the next. 3 guys showed up. Within an hour, 2 of them would quit. So here's some questions that people have submitted to Ray's Moving. Brett's going to answer them, again, submitted through the Trustedsaskatoon.com website. Adele says, when getting ready for the mover to come and move large appliances, anything we should be doing to prep to help the movers out, or do they do all the work?
No, there's a lot of things like we're professional movers. We're not appliance technicians. So there's a lot of things that customer can look at on their side as well.
Such as?
Fridges, for example, should have their water lines disconnected and the filters drained. Depending on the time of the year, washers need to be drained because freezing can occur and damage pumps, as well as dryers aren't so tough, though. You can unplug those and it's a little bit easier. Additionally, always keep a great tip is always keep your stabilizer pins if you're getting new front load washers and dryers. They're extremely expensive if you try to buy them at a later date if you've thrown them out. So.
What is a stabilizer pin? That's something that just keeps it all kind of intact while you're moving,
exactly.
So it's not banging around?
The drum will bang around while it's traveling in the truck, and that just makes sure that nothing gets damaged.
Good stuff. We've got more great questions for Brett from Ray's Moving. We're back with those in just 2 minutes on News Talk Radio's Talk to the Experts. Back with our next segment of this half-hour's Expert Show. We're with Trustedsaskatoon.com. And this week, Sarah Wheelwright, the owner of Trustedsaskatoon.com, has brought along Real estate people. We've got Carrie Calder we were talking to, Century 21 Fusion experts. And then you think about moving when it comes to moving into that new home. We've got Brett here from Ray's Moving. And in just a bit, we're going to be talking to Rhonda from Decora Homes. Next question for you, Brett, off the Trusted Saskatoon Facebook page. This comes from Darlene King. She says, what items do you advise your clients to pack and move themselves, such as jewelry, passports, anything else a homeowner may not be thinking of?
There are several goods that are excluded from cargo protection, including jewelry, coins, stamps, documents, watches, currency, precious stones and metals, and perishables such as food and plants. Plants can be taken and shipped, but it's always done at the owner's risk because with our weather out here, you just never know what we're going to get.
What was that coverage you mentioned there at the beginning? So I'm assuming that's
yeah.
your insurance that covers?
That's correct, right.
So if something gets broken or goes missing, there is some coverage there?
Just those items won't, yes. There's always some coverage on all your goods that are going to be shipped. But as far as, those particular ones as for jewelry, coins, the precious small items that they just will never cover.
A lot of
items.
It's common sense, though, isn't it? Wouldn't you think a lot of people would want to keep that a little closer to themselves?
You would think so.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things that people forget about as well. Dangerous goods that we're just not allowed to take as well. Things that propane tanks, gas cans.
Oh yeah, I suppose. For the barbecue.
Exactly. Household cleaners, bleaches, ammonia, oven cleaners. Oil-based paints, paint thinners. All these items aren't allowed, and it's more so to protect your goods than anything. You don't want your bleach to spill onto your sofa.
Good point.
So
here's another question. This is from Anna Lee. Says, when it comes to moving, is there something we should be doing to keep track of our items to ensure all our belongings arrive to where they're supposed to go? You would think most people would do an inventory anyway, wouldn't they, when they're packing up?
It's a great question, and we do an inventory on anything that's going long distance.
Oh, do you? Okay.
It's itemized, it's numbered, it's got a special code so that it can't be mixed with anybody else's shipment. And then once we've loaded up the goods, when we go to deliver, we check everything off to make sure that everything has arrived. On shorter moves, local moves, we don't do that. It gets a little bit pricey for customers to have somebody walking around their house for half a day just making a list, and they usually don't want to pay for that type of thing.
Good point.
So, if you're really concerned about it, I say put your own lock on the truck. You can request a seal, or, most importantly, get a reliable mover.
Good point.
Check out Better Business Bureau, Canadian Association of Movers, or even Trusted Canada, of course.
And, of course, Trustedsaskatoon.com, where you're going to find Ray's Moving. You mentioned that you do long hauls and local?
That's correct, yeah.
Another question here from Matthew Murray. Says there's many private movers on Kijiji. There's a whole bunch of everything on Kijiji. Why would I use a professional company service instead of a guy with a truck? Come on, Matthew. I can answer that one, for gosh sakes. The word professional, maybe. Huh?
That's right. It's always buyer beware. Many of these operators will take advantage of customers by offering cut rate prices. They make unrealistic promises, and then come moving day, everything changes. Then they'll hold your goods for ransom until they get paid what they want to get paid. Many of these operators don't even own their own trucks, offices, warehouses. So there's a few red flags I think everybody should look for. You should make sure the operator doesn't just only have a cell phone. Check to see if they have a physical address, or is that physical address really a residential address. Operators that only accept cash, there's a red flag. Operators who don't charge tax, and operators who refuse to come and do a visual survey.
I had a neighbor once that hired some guys off Kijiji. Once they pulled up, he wouldn't even let him in the house.
I've heard of that before.
So again, there's a certain trust and a bond is when you're dealing with a professional company like Ray's as well.
That's right, and you should always look, especially if you're putting stuff into storage, make sure that you do a drive-by and that you're comfortable where your goods are being stored and you know where they are.
Good stuff. Thanks for your time, Brett.
Thank you.
Ray's Moving, of course, for all your short haul and long haul moving needs, and you connect to Ray's. And any questions? What are we going to do with the extra questions we've got here, Sarah?
The experts here are going to answer the questions, and we will then be putting them onto the directory in our Trusted Tips library, and so you'll be able to find the answers to those there.
Good deal. Well, we've got time for our next guest here on our Talk to the Expert show for Trustedsaskatoon.com. And we're joined by Rhonda, who's one of the owners of Decora Homes here in Saskatoon. Hi, Rhonda.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us and being so patient while we got through everybody else here.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about your company first off, Decora Homes. You build homes?
Yes, we are a custom home builder, and we also do renovations on existing homes.
And clearly there's a lot of people out there love the look of your homes because we got a lot of questions here. You ready to go with some of them?
I sure am.
Rachel is asking, my fiance and I looking to buy that first home. considering building a home. We've seen from different building companies 5 or 6 layouts, and they build multiples of those. She's more a fan of a classic home. I guess basically she's asking in what, in your opinion, is the best and most affordable way to work with a building company to build a unique dream home without having to use one of their cookie-cutter layouts.
Right. Okay. At Decora, we believe that when you are building your dream home, whether it's your first home or your retirement home, that you should be building a home which best suits your lifestyle and personality. We do have many plans that we have built for our wonderful clients, which a person could choose from or make minor changes to the design custom plan with your own ideas. Mm-hmm. We work directly side by side with our clients and the draftsman while designing the dream home. At Decora, designing your own home from scratch does not incur any more costs than if we were to use an existing plan. And you can check out our website at www.decora-homes.com to see any plan ideas that we have done in the past.
Good stuff. Anna Lee is asking, with trends always seeming to change so much these days, is there any suggestions about keeping a new house in style and trendy without going broke trying to keep up with the Joneses?
When it comes to custom building and designing your own personal home, we at Decora believe that the choice of finishing products chosen should reflect on the client's lifestyle and personality, not what they believe the trend is. You have to remember that this is your home, which you come home to every day, and should feel proud and get that welcome feeling when you walk in every time through the door.
Nikki McDonald, this is an interesting one. A little more detail in this one. Since coming back to Saskatchewan, Nikki said, I've noticed some new houses where they build the roof on the ground and then lift it onto the top of the building. Is that fairly common, and why do they do it that way?
Every home has its own truss plan layout, and some can be extremely challenging. When a framer decides to build the roof on the ground and then lift it onto the building, it would be for the reason of the challenges that particular roof would be safer and easier to assemble on a flat surface.
But there's really no difference in the quality of the product. No. Rachel is asking this question. If you have a huge lot with an older house, would you recommend tearing it down and rebuilding or renovating that existing home on an existing lot? The area she lives in is Nutana. House was built in the 40s. My sister loves and wants to keep that big backyard. Boy, that'd be a nice situation to be in these days.
Yes, it would be. Those are hard to come by.
Yeah, no kidding.
Decora Homes also does renovations, and we do believe in renovating a character home if the client is happy with the current layout and the renovations that would be involved are feasible to stay within the client's budget. You can make changes to a character home's layout if needed, but you have to remember that there will be structural walls which cannot be removed.
And we go to Lisa, who asks a similar question that was asked of Carrie earlier as well. What do you see as the number one project, bathrooms or kitchens? If I had to choose which one to put the most money into in case of a renovation, what would you recommend?
And I do agree with Carrie as well. For us, definitely we believe that the number one seller of a home is the kitchen. Bathrooms are important, but you have to remember that you spend a lot more time in the kitchen and that everyone that comes into your home will most likely see that area. And it comes down to first impression. Spend
a whole heck of a lot more time in the kitchen than the bathroom.
Exactly.
Thank goodness for that. Some good advice there from Decora Homes. Rhonda, thanks for joining us here today on our expert show for Trustedsaskatoon.com.
Thank you for having me.
And we also would like to point out that Rhonda has brought along $100 in gift certificates, a nice little basket of gift certificates from Tim Hortons and the SLGA. Got them covered on both sides. Coffee and a beer. Ray's Moving is giving us a $250 gift certificate as well, and Carrie Calder, our Trusted Saskatoon realtor, a $100 gift certificate to a spa, a local spa. So thanks for that. And we have chosen our winning question, and we're going to give that entire package to Nikki McDonald, who asked that great question, I thought, about building those new roofs and putting them on the ground, whatever, as some home builders may be doing. Just another way of getting those beautiful new homes built in a timely manner here in Saskatoon. So Nikki McDonald, thanks for the question, and enjoy your gift basket. Sarah, that's about all the time we've got for the show this week. Thanks to you and your guests for coming in by today.
Thank you very much.